Do you want to read fantasy books but have no idea where to begin from? If yes, here are some fantasy book recommendations which are very easy to read and which are perfect for beginner readers. The books in the video have been organized from easiest to least easiest. All of them are easy, but the first one is the easiest one and the last one is the least easiest one. Yeah. Number one fantasy book recommendation I have for you is a series of 5 books, Percy Jackson series. This is a series that features Greek mythology. There's a demigod who is the victim of a prophecy, as well as a lot of monsters keep attacking him. There is a lot of adventure in this book, and it's a middle grade fantasy series, very easy to read. I would recommend it to even somebody of 10 years old because it's a fantastic book series. Okay, so do try it out. Number one book series in my recommendation video. Number two recommendation I have for you is the Harry Potter series. So it's a fantasy series about this boy who has to face one of the darkest wizards of his time, Lord Voldemort. And there is a visiting school, and it's very, very amazing to read, just about the main plotline. But as you guys already know, Harry Potter is a series that has so much of depth that even if you read it every single year, you will find something fantastic about it. So give it a try, read Harry Potter series, set of 7 books, and you would not be disappointed. Next book series I want to recommend is a House of Night novel series by PC and Kristen Cast. Now, I would not recommend you the entire book series because I haven't read the entire book series. I have read the first 3 books, tried the 4th one, did not want to continue with the 4th one. But the first book is so good that it made me almost buy the entire book series, and there are a lot of books in this series. I read the first 3 books, thoroughly enjoyed it, and I would definitely recommend it to you guys. It's a vampire novel series. It features this girl who's a vampire, and again there's a school, vampire school, and there are dark things happening. The vampire world of this book is slightly different from what you read in maybe Twilight or maybe in Vampire Diaries, and I felt it was very nice to read it, okay, and it was very easy to read. So definitely something you should try out. My next fantasy book recommendation for beginners is again a vampire novel, okay, and this is a series of 4 books. A lot of people say there are 5 books, but the main books are these, okay, and it's called Twilight. It's about this girl who falls in love with a vampire, so it's basically a fantasy romance. If that's your thing, go on and pick up this book. Next one is something that I recently finished reading, and I'm so happy that I went through this book series. A lot of you kept asking me about this book series, whether it was easy for beginners or not. It's a young adult novel series. It is fairly easy, and it's the Mortal Instruments series by Cassandra Clare. There are 6 books in this series. The book world is where shadow hunters exist, part humans, part angels, who protect the humans from demons, and there are also vampires, werewolves, fairies. All stories are true, and they also exist in this novel series. And there's this plot of this one person gone wrong and creating a mess everywhere. So that is what the book series is about. It was originally a trilogy, but then 3 more books were written. So all in all, there are 6 books, and I was so happy that I read all the 6 books. I have reviewed first 4 books already on the channel, so do watch the reviews as well. I would say, it is a little difficult to get into this book series, not because of the language, but because it's slightly boring, but you have to keep reading it because you will be thoroughly happy. You'll be amazed with this world as I was. I did not like the first book that much, and even for all the books I had some critical comments, okay, but all in all, I would say I would never ever regret picking up this book series because I liked it so much. It's easy for beginners, set of 6 books, and then you can continue reading more books in the Shadowhunter world. There is an Infernal Devices series, there's a series that continues after this. So you have a lot of choices when you start reading about the Shadowhunter world. The next book series that I would like to recommend you is the Hunger Games trilogy. I do own the series, but I don't know, I could not find it in my bookshelf, but it's a dystopian fantasy novel trilogy where the world is divided into a city, which is the capital, and that basically rules everything, and there are districts which are basically slaves of the city, or you can say the people serve the city. And every year there are Hunger Games that are organized, which is basically reality TV show kind of event where from every district 2 people are selected, a girl and boy, and they have to fight and play the Hunger Games until their death. So there is only one winner and the rest of them would die. So that is what the trilogy is about. And so I know it for a fact that Twilight is a book series that has shaped the reading experience of so many people I know. So many people I know via Booktube, the books videos on YouTube. I would say for me, the book series that really got me into Booktube, that really got me into reading as a serious habit was the Hunger Games trilogy. I read this trilogy and there was never looking back. I was reading books on and on and on. So for me, it really shaped my reading experience, and it really shaped my career as a booktuber, because if I was not reading books, I would not make videos about books, right? So I really recommend this book series to you guys. If you haven't ever read it, pick it up right now. Now I have a couple of Indian fantasy novels that I would like to recommend to you guys. Number one is Born to be King, the Epic of Kautilya by Deepak Thomas. By the way guys, I have reviewed a lot of the books that I have mentioned in this video. So I'll link all the reviews down below in the description if you want to watch those videos and make your decisions about these fantasy novel series. They are detailed reviews, detailed discussions without spoilers. Some of them are with spoilers, but there are good warnings over there, so do check out all of those videos. Okay, discussing about this book, I recently read this fantasy novel and I was so impressed. It's the first book in a series, a new release, so rest of the books haven't come out yet, but this one, I feel like it was very easy to read. Oh, and one thing, I have separated the list of Indian books in this video, so this is, I would say, very easy, but not in that series that was happening easiest to least easiest. Okay, this is just a separate segment in this video. The top one in the easiest in the Indian book section is about this princess who was born with the qualities of a parrot, whereas her brothers are strong and loved by everyone, but she, being a woman in Indian society, she's shunned by everyone and nobody thinks that she should get any sort of power. Like, people even objected when she was sent to school. And the story is about this kind-hearted, this peace-loving woman facing the realities of life and struggling to reclaim the honor of her family. That is what the book is about. I mean, I really like this book. I have discussed about the things that I did not like about it, but that's just like a critical opinion. But if I have to suggest you a fantasy novel right now, Indian fantasy novel, this would be it. Number two in the easiest fantasy novel series in India is Kalki Trilogy by Kevin Missal. 2 books of this trilogy are out and the next book is coming out, I think, this month or next month. So you really have to... By the way, I'm holding the cover of the second book, okay? You could not find the first book. Where is it? I don't know. But this is about the 10th avatar of Vishnu. Kalki has been imagined as a character who is a normal character with superhuman strengths. That really contradicted itself. But what I mean is that this book is all about Kalki trying to figure out what his actual destiny is and things happening to Kalki. And because of these things, he is forced to step into the avatar he is supposed to be, if that makes sense. I have reviewed both the books, so I'll link them down below, so do check them out. So this is also like number 2 in the easiest books for beginners Indian fantasy edition. Next, I have a retelling of Mahabharata, that is the Ajya series. This is the first book. Okay, it's a duology and it's basically Mahabharata from Duryodhan's perspective, from the bad guy's perspective, and it just reimagines everything like that. And it is one of the first few Indian mythological fantasy novels that I read and I absolutely loved. So would definitely recommend it to you guys. And when it comes to Indian books, they are mostly very easy, except when some authors decide to be like big authors and they use dictionary way too much. Next thing I would recommend you guys is the Ramchandra series by Amish Tripathi. This is again a mythological fiction, mythological fantasy novel by an Indian author. I would not recommend you to read this one. This is not, I would say, easy to read. It is also boring. So like slightly difficult, not difficult, okay? So slightly not easy and boring. So it becomes bad. But this one is definitely something which is very easy to read, very simple language, and something you would love reading. So I would recommend you this book. It's a series, but they can be read as standalone. So read this book, and the next book is also coming out soon, Ravan. So let's see how that one is, but this is definitely worth reading. Next two are again not the part of the easiest to least easiest segment. These are 2 books that I read as ebooks and I absolutely loved. So if you are into ebooks, if you read on your Kindle, you can check out these books and even see if the paperbacks are available in India, okay? So number 1 book is By Death Defined by Hugo Damas. It's basically a book where this war is happening and these characters from one family are fighting and being a part of this science fiction action / fantasy world. There's magic involved, there's lots of, fighting involved, and that is what the book is about. There are lots of deaths, and I felt like out of all the books I've read, this book has been written in a very unique manner. Impressed me the most in this book because I just loved how this book shifted from one character to another, but you would not understand it, okay? You would not understand the beauty of it until you read the book. So I would definitely suggest you to read this book if you are keen to read something that is written a bit differently but still very easy for beginners, okay? Number 2 book is again a first book in a fantasy novel series. This is called Magic Required by H.S. Paisley. So this is about this mythical character who is in hiding, okay? He is hiding in the real human world in 2049. I'm always confused between 2047 2049. I'll put it in the description, okay? I made like 3 videos about this book, and every time I'm like, okay, did I say it right, 2047 or 49? But this is a book set in that time and about this character who is hiding. He is really powerful, but he's afraid to use his powers, magical powers. So he's in hiding until he starts getting these prophetic visions, and he has a choice whether he wants to stay in hiding and be safe or save some people who are dying, and the ones he can save because of his prophetic visions, okay? So that is what the book is about. Really easy to read. All in all of the books that I mentioned in this video are really good for beginners. So these are my fantasy book recommendations for beginners. If you don't know me and you watch the video until now, I'm Manpreet. I make book related videos every Tuesday, Thursday and Saturday, and do follow all of my videos. Do follow me on my Instagram for more reading updates, to find out about more books. And I hope you enjoyed watching this video. I hope this video inspires you to read more fantasy novels, because I have been in love with fantasy novels, and I would say it's an amazing choice. So make it and keep reading. This is Manpreet signing off. I'll be back with another video very soon. By the way, don't forget to tell me about your favorite fantasy novel which you think is good for beginners.